Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. The Golden Week sale on Steam is wrapping up, and I want to do one more video looking at the great deals that are not JRPGs. If you did not check out that video, go back and look it up. There are a lot of good Japanese RPGs on sale, but in this video, we're gonna step away from just JRPGs and cover a lot of other games because there's a lot of good stuff from Japanese developers and publishers that are discounted right now. So without waiting any longer, let's just get right into it, and I want to kick things off with Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. This is a game that I absolutely adored. I beat it a couple times, beat it on consoles, then beat it on PC when it arrived there a few times, and it's a game that unfortunately is very, very short. That was probably the downfall to Metal Gear Rising and why the game didn't sell better. I mean, it probably sold pretty well, but Rising was a game done by Platinum, and it's not your typical Metal Gear game, of course. It is fast-paced, it is action-heavy, and it is stylish as all hell. The presentation's great, and it has some amazing music in the title. Right from the get-go, you're hit with songs like Rules of Nature, and that's a song that I was jamming to for a very, very long time. Not more so anymore, but hey, now that I'm talking about it, I kind of want to listen to that song again and every other track that's in Metal Gear Rising, because it's a tremendous game, and $7.50 for it, I would say, is a really good buy. Definitely a game you want to play with a controller, so bear that in mind. Next up, we have Ace Combat 7: Skies Unknown. This was a really great game that unfortunately had the fate of being released right around the same time as Kingdom Hearts 3 and Resident Evil 2, so it kind of fell to the wayside. It's 67% off for $19 and change. Yeah, I'd like to see it a little bit cheaper, but hey, that's just me being cheap as hell. Ace Combat 7 itself is a great game. If you want an action flight title, this is a good one. Awesome soundtrack here as well. Story, in my opinion, isn't anything to write home about, and the game is noted with a tag of being story-rich, so I don't necessarily agree with that. I didn't think the story was anything that spectacular, but nonetheless, if you want an action-heavy flight title, this is a really good one, and at $19.79, a pretty good pickup. The game has a relatively good amount of content as well, so it excels in that regard. Next up, Okami HD. This is a fantastic game, 50% off for $9.99. This game came out on the PS2 way back in like 05, 06. I remember really enjoying it back then, and Okami HD is an HD remaster of it. It was released at $19.99, so already a great price point, but $9.99 makes it even better. Now, this is a game that I believe is locked at 30 frames per second, so that is something to be mindful of, so yeah, you might want to be weary about that. However, it's still a great game. Visuals are stunning. Game holds up really, really well in 2020. That's one thing that I can say about the game immediately. The visual style is just something that works even later in the day. It's a game that really didn't accentuate the technical side of things like a Crisis. However, the art style was fantastic. Gameplay is great as well. A lot of comparisons to The Legend of Zelda. Story is really good, and great music in this one as well, so check that out. Next up, we have AI: The Subliminal Files. It is 50% off for $29.99. This game was done by Spike Chunsoft. They are great. They do very, very good story-driven titles. This one has you play as a detective named Kaname Date. A lot of a roller coaster of emotions, and it's a thrill ride. It's very story-driven, light on the gameplay. You guys know what you're getting into with these visual novel styles games, but it's really good, and I would recommend it if you're looking for something that is story-heavy, that is more of a thrill ride rather than a gaming experience entirely, but the visual style is also very, very good. And if you're a fan of visual novels like the Zero Escape series, Danganronpa, which we'll get to in a second, AI: The Subliminal Files will be right up your alley. Next up, Yakuza Zero is 66% off for $6.79. Always a game that is worth a buy. Now, it is available as a part of Xbox Game Pass, so if you would rather go that route, or if you have a Game Pass subscription, bear that in mind. Otherwise, if you want Yakuza Zero to own, it is a really, really good game that is going to take you a long time to finish. If you want to do everything in these Yakuza titles, you'll be playing for a very long time. Do be mindful of the fact that they are English subbed. They do not have English voiceovers. The first game in this quote-unquote franchise was Judgment to have English voiceovers. That wasn't necessarily a mainline Yakuza title, but you guys get the idea. Yakuza 0 is great. Looks like Yakuza 7 will be coming stateside as well and on PC, so that's going to be exciting. $6.79 for Yakuza 0 is a good buy, so definitely give that a look. Next up, want to give Resident Evil some shine. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is 50% off for $14.99. I know the one that most people gravitate towards these days is Resident Evil 2, and rightfully so. It is tremendous. It is down to $20, and if you've yet to check it out, do check it out. But Resident Evil 7 was also very, very good. This is kind of a new beginning for Resident Evil. It has a new protagonist, and it's a very, very engaging title from a survival horror standpoint. It really does invoke that emotion of survival horror, which Resident Evil more recently has been getting back to with the RE2 and 3 remakes, but those are, of course, remakes. With 4, 5, and 6, I loved RE4, but 4, 5, and 6 really did go more action-heavy. This one dials it back to more of an old-school RE presentation style. Visuals are stunning, one of the better PC versions of a game that you're going to come across, and again, for survival horror fans, this one's going to be right up your alley. If you've yet to check out RE2, that one is, of course, worth a buy as well. I mentioned it a little while ago, but Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc is 60% off for $7.99. This is a game that, much like AI the Subliminal Files, it's very hard to sell people on just because you don't want to go too in-depth to what it is, because that's kind of one of the drawing elements, and the enjoyable factor of Danganronpa is really accentuated when you go into this game blind. Give it 30 minutes, give it 45 minutes around that time frame, and I guarantee you'll be absolutely hooked to the game. The story is an emotional roller coaster. So many plot twists that you don't see coming, and it really gets going within the first 30 to 45 minutes. So it's not like you got to invest 2 to 3 hours or anything like that to get engaged. Characters are super diverse, and again, just the world, mystery, and intrigue to the game. It is a very, very engaging title, and for $7.99, it's got an overwhelmingly positive reception on Steam for a reason, and it's absolutely warranting that. $7.99 for the first game. You can get the entire trilogy for $24. That might be something to look at. I actually thought Danganronpa 2 was even better than the first game. Danganronpa 3 fell off a little bit in my eyes, but it was still a very, very good game. Alright, moving on from that, another game I often recommend, and why not? It's a great one. Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Premium Edition, $4.99. This is a game that I never thought would get a PC release because it kind of came out of nowhere. It didn't do that commercially well on 360 and PS3, but then it came to PC, did relatively well over there. It is a fantastic game, a post-apocalyptic title that follows two characters, Monkey and Trip, and it's a post-apocalyptic game, yes, but at the same time, the world and the design of this game is so vibrant, so gorgeous. It's a little bit different than a post-apocalyptic game called Fallout, where it is a little bit more dark and drab, and that's kind of what you see out of post-apocalyptic titles. Enslaved is very much different in that sense. Story is rather good. Ending was a little bit jarring, was not a big fan of that, but overall, the gameplay was really engaging. Combat is good, platforming is great, and it's always paced rather well, so it shakes things up. 1 minute you'll be in some combat, next minute you'll be platforming from section to section. You'll do a puzzle here and there. It keeps the game fresh at all times in a rather engaging 12 to 14 hour experience. Next up, we have another really good title, Castlevania Lords of Shadow Ultimate Edition. 75% off for $7.49. I really enjoyed Castlevania Lords of Shadow. I thought it was a really good title, even though it was very much different than your typical Castlevania game. I believe when this game originated, it wasn't initially intended to be a Castlevania game, but it kind of transitioned into that. Gameplay is great. Visuals are really good, and the music in this one is rather good as well. Pretty lengthy game as well. Some of the puzzles are a little difficult, so bear that in mind, but overall, I would say it is a really good game, especially at $7.49. And lastly, Devil May Cry's got to have a mention. DMC5 is 50% off for $20. This, in my opinion, was shockingly good. Like, I was expecting DMC5 to be pretty good, but how good this game was really surprised me. And I've been a long-time Devil May Cry fan, but this, to me, stands out as the best one. It's stylish, got great music. Story is just there. I mean, if you haven't played the previous Devil May Cry games, don't really worry about that. You're getting into this game for the action-heavy gameplay, the stylish presentation, the great music, things of that nature are really, really well done. And I also do want to note, Devil May Cry 5 is excellent. DMC Devil May Cry is also on sale. That's down to $7.49. Not a bad game either. That one was done by Ninja Theory, the same guys that actually did Enslaved. And that turned out to be a pretty good game. It was more of a reboot to Devil May Cry. It had a different stylized Dante, and that really irked some people, myself included initially, but then I got past it and I played the game, and the game was pretty damn good, so I wanted to give that a mention. But DMC5 definitely stands out as an awesome action title, and one of my favorite games of 2019, in all honesty. Maybe I'd even go as far as to say my favorite, but I would have to look back and really look at what games I enjoyed the most that year. Nonetheless, it's a great action game, and I would highly recommend it. So that's going to conclude this video, guys. Again, the Golden Week sale will be concluding tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. Your local time may vary. A lot of great deals are available of it, and we went over 20 deals and a lot of variety as well. So hope you guys enjoyed my coverage. The next major Steam sale is a month away in the Steam Summer Sale. That is going to be pretty frantic, and that's usually considered Steam's biggest sale of the year, so be excited for that. And if you don't pick these games up now, chances are they'll be on sale again. So that's going to conclude this video. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.